Good morning. What's the hook? Energy drinks running low. Actually, I do need to stock up on energy drinks. Now, C4 in the UK is a little bit different, but the reason I chose this one this morning is because we have Reorg. I don't know if you've heard of Reorg. You may have heard of them. They're a charity set up by veterans and people in the biz. And through sport, mainly jiu-jitsu and combat, they raise money for charities. So it's a lovely thing. And the one and only, keep getting bloody bings, the one and only Tom Hardy. Hello, Slater. Hope you are, sir. Tom Hardy of Tom Hardy status and notoriety is a key benefactor and advocate of the charity. Speaking of Tom Hardy, we started watching Mobland this week. My God, that is a good series. I was under the impression it was based in the US, but it's not, is it? Based in London. And I noticed a few key landmarks. It must have been filmed the last couple of years because there's been a wee bit of change in the landscape in London the last couple of years, I'd say, especially yesterday. Bit of a, I don't know how much of our news you guys get or see or bother with. Yeah, there was quite a big uptake for a gathering, let's call it, yesterday in London. Again, I'm always hesitant to jump on a side. One might say I'm a fence sitter. That's okay. I don't mind. I like to be a purple state, as you guys say. Talked about this the other day with Tyler, but I don't like to be I don't need to be the first person to declare something or understand it or whatever. I just want to know my own bearings on it and understand it fully. So, looked like a nice day out for a lot of people. I think there was, so you've got some news sources saying 100,000 people, and then other sources are saying it's like close to 1 million. It's probably somewhere in the middle. The videos over the top, looking down at the people, there's a hell of a lot of people there. And unless you're Scrooge McDuck, do you remember Scrooge McDuck? He could count those coins in his thing. Great show that was. I don't think the estimates are about right. By the looking at it, you're probably looking at, morning Craig, you're probably looking at about, I reckon, 250, 300,000, I'd have thought, based on, you think Wembley Stadium's 90, and there's a minimum of 2 of them going on, minimum, lining the streets. So, and I'm not actually sure, I think I can get my head around why they were there. We've had this, it started off as a demonstration organised for veterans initially, and then the Raise the Flag campaign went across the board, across the country, in retaliation to the Birmingham Council taking down flags, which is a bit shitty. Then it's built steam from there, and then this week it obviously gathered a bit of tempo with what had gone. I feel like we're at just like a boiling point. I think tensions are really high with all of it. I think government overreach is the overwhelming theory, the overwhelming factor in all of it, isn't it? We all know the we all know the truth of the matter, don't we? We've got us, and then we've got them. We all know who they are, right? And these guys try and divide these guys, and these guys are supposed to go head to head like this, so these guys can come in and help. But we all know it's those guys that are trying to mix these people up. And the way that I see it, because a lot of my mates from where I used to live went into London yesterday, and I'll tell you, hardly any of them look like me. They're all from very different backgrounds, and they're all there, and they're all gladly there trying to sort out this level. And the way that you can do that, one way, not the only way, but one way of doing that, I guess, is saying we stand together under this flag, I guess, is one way of doing it. It's not the only way. Other people have got different ways. But what's lovely about seeing that is that it's not people that just look like me. And for whatever reasons, those people came together and they've had enough of feeling a certain way. And for whatever reason, people were there. There's loads of interviews from people that were there yesterday, for all different sorts of reasons. And I think it said about 60 arrests, I think. And if you think about that, if you think about, let's say there was 200,000 people there. Out of 200,000 people protesting, there's 60 arrests. I'm pretty sure that's less than any typical per capita rate across the board in any country. So it's still pretty low. But yeah, it looked like it was fairly amalgamous, let's say. But like I was just about to say, I think across the board, I think one I always like to find common ground in all of this, because that's what this is all about, isn't it? It's people like to tribe up, they like to group up, they like to find familiarity, they like to be part of like we found with our adverts recently with CrossFit, our culture, our community, our thing. We like to find our tribe, don't we? We like to find that group that we can identify with and we can be part of. We always need to find common ground to start discourse. We need to find, and people talk about it all week. We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to communicate. We need to communicate before violence. We need to go down that route, which is obvious to any sane human. But the one element and the one common theme that I've heard from, I don't think I've heard anyone say that they want government overreach. They want more government power. I think we can all agree we want less. We don't want tyranny. We don't want government ruling over us. We rule over them. They represent us. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I've been thinking about it for a little while, and I mentioned it to a couple of friends yesterday, was this idea that if you think about the size of the UK, right? So I think it was 65 million last time I counted. Hang on. I'll get an official quota for you. Population of I'll say UK, right? Even though we've got different groupings, British Isles, Great Britain, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, 68 million. So 68 million people. Let's put that into context. Which US state has closest to 68 million people? Yeah. California. Oh, well, that's a nice comparison, right? Okay, so Hello. The UK has the same population as California. Is that right? Yeah. California and Texas combined. So the UK has the same population as California and Texas combined. Which state is the UK most similar to in land mass? Okay. Let's go with Minnesota. Right. So the UK is around the size of Minnesota and has the population of California and Texas combined. Just for context. Now, obviously, we have a very different legal system to you guys. We're a constitutional monarchy. Now, in essence, the monarch is just purely a figurehead. They're relatively powerless on the surface. That was because of our revolution in the 17th century, when the monarch was essentially stripped of power. However, they still play a pivotal role. Ironically, the monarch of England is a backstop, is a safety net for tyranny. And it's funny. And the irony there is that it's always been seen as this tyrant. It's been seen as the tyrant. Good morning, Adam. And the events of the last couple of years, where we've seen government overreach and crackdown on certain things, which I'll come on to in a minute. If we were to go down the route of tyranny by a government, first of all, the government would need to have a coup. Oh man, yeah, we're getting there, Vidush. Right. So, I'm not saying this is going to happen. Every single law that the UK government passes has to be approved and stamped by the monarch. The monarch gives it the approval. Now, in reality, there's been one of these declined in the last 350 years. However, the monarch does have the power to decline it. So it'd have to go through there first. If there was an overreach of a legal documentation or a law that came in that led down tyranny via a government, the monarch could, in fact, go down a reserve power route that was a backstop against a tyrannical government. Okay. So the monarch, the armed forces, when you're in any of the armed forces, you pledge allegiance to God and the king. You don't pledge allegiance to the government. And because of that, if there ever was a tyrannical government that overreached and it got really bad, the backstop in this ironic way is the monarch. They hold the keys to defense against the tyrannical government. In a very strange, ironic way, the reason why the US Constitution was written to get away from the system we have in the UK. The UK monarch has become our version of the US Constitution. It's the backstop to go up against a tyrannical government. And I'm trying to get my head around how that fucking works, because that is mental. The other thing to note is that our legal system is very, very different from you guys. So we have these backstop laws that we generate everything else from, these 3 laws. Any law can be repealed very quickly. It doesn't have to go to this grand, larger system through a federal system. It goes straight to Parliament because we are a relatively small state and our institution is very different. And like I said, the reason I said about the population and the landmass is to give you some perspective. It would be the equivalent, I guess, of somewhere like Minnesota changing a state law rather than a federal law and a bigger nationwide law. So the turnaround time is quite fast. So when you have these laws coming in, when you have these regulations coming in, when you have people going to prison for stuff they've said online, which, by the way, it's not like if you're nasty online, you go to prison. There's a bit of an exaggeration there. I don't believe it's correct, but there is a little bit of an exaggeration in what we're told people go to prison for. But I don't think it's correct. So, for example, the late and great Charlie Kirk was in the UK a couple of weeks ago for a 10-day tour. He was touring. He went around a lot of the universities or college campuses. He went around a few businesses, did his lectures. He went on radio shows. He went on podcasts. He did quite a big tour. He didn't change his language or narrative whatsoever. He said exactly as he does. Now, because he speaks in objective rather than, and this is something I'm going to come on in a bit, other than his religious faith, his faith in his religion, he speaks in objective fact and truth. And that isn't illegal yet. He quoted numbers. What he didn't do and what he doesn't do is incite violence. He doesn't say that he hates people and he wants their heads caved in or he wants them killed. He didn't do any of that. And that's why there's this backlash. The people that have gone to jail for posts on social media, which again, I don't agree with. I think it's a complete overreach. The reason that the government have called them up and done that for social media posts is because what they were posting was, I hope they get killed. I want them killed. I want them burned. The equivalent of what quite a lot of the people have been saying this week from the other side. So it's worth noting the differentiation there, rather than just if you're nasty on social media, you go to jail. It's not the same thing, is it? But again, with the caveat, I don't think it's right. Now, what I've seen a lot of this week, and this is going to take some nuance, so hear me out, because I know a lot of people in my life and on this show and in the chat are very keen and proud Christians, and that's awesome. Right? Awesome. I get it. And like Savon said in the past, I want more Christians because I see the value there, and I understand it. My mum's a very devout Christian. I totally get it. They're good people generally, you know. Obviously, you get the odd exception. Now, here's a question for you. Those of you in the chat that do WODs, use AMRAPs, use EMOMs, wear Reebok or whatever the fuck brand it is now, and you do it at home in your garage, do you class yourself as a CrossFitter? Right. I would argue you're doing CrossFit. Okay. I would argue that you are doing CrossFit. But you don't assign yourself to CrossFit and you don't go to the affiliates. and you haven't done your L1. Now, the reason I'm drawing that parallel is because I am not a Christian. I'm an agnostic atheist. And by that, and people have a hard time distinguishing between agnostic atheism and atheism. I'm an agnostic atheist in so much as I see no evidence and therefore don't believe in a God or gods. But I don't claim that that is the truth. I don't claim that that's fact because I have no evidence to the contrary either. So in that respect, I'm agnostic because I don't claim to have the answer, but my belief is that there isn't one. So therefore, I'm an agnostic atheist. Now, I'm the equivalent of the guy training in his garage doing CrossFit. I take all the principles, all the values, all the learnings from Christianity, amongst others. I'm a massive, massive follower of Greek mythology and the lessons and learnings from that. Obviously, much older than the Bible. Does that mean I can't take value and worth from the Bible, from the library of books that is the Bible? Does that mean I can't take value from it? Hello, Jordan. I believe that I can. I think there's a lot to be said about a lot of the virtues and the morality and the learnings and teachings from all walks of life. And one of the most prevalent and one of the most, the deepest and fundamental, and one that laid it out very early, well, I'll say very early on, 2,000 years ago. Not that early, but, you know, relatively early compared to a few of the others, was Christianity. Doesn't mean I'm a Christian. Or does it? Do I have to believe in the resurrection and the supernatural side of stuff that isn't provable, that is subjective, that does require faith? Must I also pretend in that in order to be classed as something? I don't think I do. Now, a lot of the, from what I've seen, a lot of the resurgence this week and a lot of this flag bearing and a lot of this movement on social media, I've seen a hell of a lot of, I'll just call it what it is, God talk. And it's a tricky one because the bit that people are talking about Christianity, it's not the bit that I find my value and worth in. It's the label behind it. It's the our Savior Jesus Christ, Amen, dilly dilly do. I that bit to me just goes straight over my head. It doesn't mean anything. It would be like a Christian listening to a Muslim talking about Allah and Muhammad being his prophet. I see what they're getting at. I see that it means something. I've seen that it adds value to their life. What I'm interested in is the learnings and values of teachings that go into that book, not the supernatural side of it. That means nothing to me. However, the language, the morals, the teachings, the understandings, the disciplines, all of that stuff, that means a lot to me. But I don't have to believe in the Almighty and all the supernatural side of it in order to take learnings from that. They're not mutually exclusive. Because if they were, reading Harry Potter would be completely and utterly worthless. There would be no need to read it. You wouldn't be able to learn anything from that book. Because if you don't believe Harry Potter was a true wizard, doesn't count. You know what I mean? The other thing is the language. It's funny, a friend of ours, mutual friend, often quotes the fact that people say Jesus Christ in their language means, oh, but you're not a Christian. You can't say that. The issue that I have with that is that there's a differentiation between language and belief in something. Here's an example. Today is Sunday. In a few days' time, it'll be Wednesday. Now, you say Wednesday. Wednesday comes from Odin or Woden. Do you believe in Odin if you say the word Wednesday? Probably not. It's just language, unfortunately. So that kind of goes by the by. Now, anyway, point being, I need a bit of C4. Point being, there's a lot of nuance to all of this. And as a very proud, I'm English and Manx, so from the Isle of Man. As a very proud Brit from the Isle of Man and from England, I truly, like many people, just want the best for my home nations. Truly want the best. I'll take it off for you, Steve, don't worry. Steve wants me to take my shirt off, everyone. But it's a beautiful experience when you accept it as mutual. It's coming from me, who was born a Hindu and practiced Indian practice. So yeah. I mean, yeah. Each their own. And the thing is, and this is the whole point in this week, right? The whole lesson that we've learned is this week that it's okay to have difference of opinion. It's okay to talk. It's okay. You're supposed to have your own opinion. That's what we want and encourage. And a lot of the rhetoric from all sorts of sides is that you can't have your own opinion. You can't think how you think. How dare you? You must come over to my side. And that's not how my brain likes to work. And the irony is that this is just my observation. Could be very wrong here. But the people that need the most protection and benefit the greatest from the ability to have their own stance and opinion appear to be, at least, the people that don't want it. And I don't know if that's because they don't realize what they want, or they don't realize that that's the path that it does go down. But there's plenty of quotes throughout history from all walks of life about the right to freedom of speech. And the fact that you have the right to say whatever you like, and I will protect that with my life. And that rhetoric and that stance is so damn important. But the people that are willing to defend that freedom of speech aren't necessarily the ones that need it the most. and it's really confusing me at the moment. Again, all of this is ramblings and musings of an isolated 40-year-old nobody. So yeah, there we go. So just to summarize, I know fuck all about politics. I'm just saying what I see. Good. So yield. One thing, so there's a few things I want to talk about. Steve's coming on in a bit once I've finished my shitty chat, and I'll take my shirt off, Steve. The NFL. So the NFL, I've got a few games coming up in Europe, across Europe. One of them is in Ireland. And I was doing PT earlier this morning for personal training. I know you guys use PT for a different thing. His dad's American, so his dad's a fully fledged Yankee Doodle, and they live on the island. He was born and raised there. My client, and his dad's taken him to Dublin to watch whatever the bloody match is. I don't know who the teams are. The Vikings, I think, are playing. Or, and I asked him about the European games. And he said it's going to expand, it's going to get bigger, and he said it's a great thing for the NFL to be going abroad. I agree. Sport's always good when it can go abroad. It's great. It's really good. And we did a bit of a deep dive between our sets, and I asked him his opinion on, does he think that these matches abroad will do anything to grow the sport abroad? And the reason I asked him that was because the stadiums that are getting filled at these NFL matches are probably being filled with people that already watch the NFL. Probably. He had a very good point, is that these matches offer a better viewing time of the day for being televised. And I hadn't really thought about that. A lot of the NFL matches go at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning over here. So it just doesn't really get watched. And the other thing about NFL, which he agreed on, being, a massive fan of the sport, he knows it very, very well. Yeah, exactly. So it goes out on our TV, which we would never see it otherwise. Is the manner of the sport. It's the way that the sport operates. And in a really weird way, it's a lot more like cricket than any other sport. It's stop, start, telly, like ads, stop, start. We're very used to open play sports, predominantly rugby and football. Rugby's 40 minutes and then 40 minutes with a half time of quarter of an hour, and football's 45 minutes, 15-minute break, 45 minutes. It's constant gameplay. There's no breaks, there's no adverts, there's no ad spots, there's no halftime shows, there's no quarters. It's just all the way through. And I'm not sure that will translate very well. Now, I want it to. I want to know about the NFL. I do want to know more about it. But I'm not sure I can sit down and watch something for more. Like nowadays, I get bored watching our football. Like after the 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, all right, what else is on? And that might, but this is my point. It might be the effect. Yeah, yeah, 2020 is good. But it's just stop, start, stop, start. There's no. We need play. We need open play a lot of the time. But I think maybe CrossFit has ruined that for me. I think. I don't know. However, when on the rare occasion that I watch CrossFit online, like the actual competition side of it, it is stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. So I don't know. I don't know. Um, yeah, that's yeah. I think we need to reinvigorate cricket. I think we need like a uh, yeah. I think it needs to go more to rather than six per. I think we need to go to 10. 10 would be better. Maybe bring the boundaries in a bit. Maybe just use a beach ball instead of a cricket ball. Um, but yeah, like yeah, rubbish. But anyway, F1. I was thinking about F1 as well. It's constant. Like it's more than just the race. There's technical. There's gameplay. There's issues. There's fucking machinery going wrong. There's foul play. There's all this sorts of stuff. It's not just about the actual race itself, which is why I think the Americans have picked up recently after Drive to Survive. Um, but yeah, there we go. But anyway, fucking cricket players should do CrossFit. Hell yeah. You know what? I dislocated my shoulder with a cricket bat once. Fucking idiot. I was like 12. And I thought it'd be really cool. And I just threw up a cricket ball in the air and went with one arm to do it. And so I had a Slazenger V2000. It came out in obviously the year 2000. And I hadn't knocked it in properly. This will be nothing to most Americans anyway. And my shoulder just popped out. And that was the first time I dislocated my shoulder. Anyway, right. Where are we at next? What's next on the old dude? Oh, so here's the thing, and I wanna get this stamped in. I wanna have this online so that I can prove that I've had this idea and I need to go with it, right? um 2000 V series, yeah, buddy. I had a V2000. It was black sticker in, I think, and it came out for it's my first proper nice bat. Didn't knock it in properly, like many things. So, how many kids out there sit and watch YouTube? Right, a lot. My kids are historically not anymore because I've taken away their tablets. They don't have them anymore. If we're at the gym and I needed them to shut up, right, for half hour, I'd be a really bad parent and I'd go, here's your tablets. And they'd sit there and they'd just watch YouTube for half hour, right? I'm talking probably about a year ago now. Early days of homeschooling when they're at the gym in the daytime. I've learned my lesson since then. No. Really? You're joking. No way. Fucking hell. 46. But sorry, hang on. Let me bring this up. Holy shit. What are we thinking, Steve? Maybe overdose? Yeah. So if you didn't know, Ricky Hatton was a very, very, very good boxer from the UK, Manchester. Well, Stockport. Compared, the body had been found and said the death is not being treated as suspicious. Devastating news comes a month after and has returned to boxing with a fight planned in December. Would have turned 47 in October, talked openly about struggles with mental health and drug addiction. He survived suicide attempts and overcame a fallout with his family. For fuck's sake. That's shit, innit? Well, rest in peace, you legend. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? For fuck's sake. Well, we'll find out how that happened. Yeah. 46, man. 46. Crazy, isn't it? That's one of the things. I know I keep fucking bringing that up. Jon's made a very funny thing about that, by the way. You'll see that later. Genuinely getting to the point now where people are popping their clogs that like are around my age more consistently anyway. Fucking Ricky Hatton, he's only 46, man. That's sad. Wonder if my mates know. Yep. Fucking hell, they're on it already. Bloody hell. Yeah, show. What are we talking about? Oh, you can go away. NFL. Yeah, right. YouTube. So, YouTube. There is no channel CrossFit and kids on YouTube. There's no crossover channel. There's nothing. If you think about the amount of kids out there that watch YouTube that just fucking watch gormlessly kids playing with toys or reaction videos to kids playing with reaction video toys. Yeah, count your days. They are counting down. There's no the amount of parents that just go, here's YouTube, right? Which is fine. Which is absolutely fine for times. And the amount of people in our community that want their kids to get into CrossFit, and the amount of CrossFit kids sessions that are going on, the amount of parents out there that do CrossFit. Hell yeah. I am going to put a bit of effort into putting out one video a week for CrossFit kids. Not officially sanctioned. It's not officially CrossFit. I'll call it fucking functional fitness kids or whatever. Come up with a groovy name. Just going into detail about what we do at CrossFit and have the kids. I might get my daughter or my son involved in the video and show them working out, or, you know, give them. Where is it? I've got the CrossFit Kids literature somewhere. If I can find it. Here it is. Right. So, printout of the CrossFit Kids handbook training guide. Literally pick one of these and hit that, record, take my kids through it, practical in the gym and talking about it. Real simple shit that I know inside out, and just put content there. There'll be loads of kids around the world that'll watch it if it's done right. I think it'd be a good idea. I thought the other day, why hasn't that been done before? It hasn't. So there you go. So that's something I'm going to start doing at some point. Probably start doing something today with it. But it could be a good idea. Now, I know Savon did playing the three brothers playing, but that was more about actual workouts. This is from a CrossFit perspective, an education piece, more towards specifically what CrossFit Kids does. We can film it in the gym, we can film it at home, wherever you like. That's the benefit of CrossFit. It can be done anywhere, can't it? So yeah, there we go. So that was an idea. So I'm going to do that. My training this week has been fucking hard. I'll be perfectly honest. Still a little bit fatigued from the powerlifting last Saturday. Legs have been a bit tired this week, but there might be the fucking millions of miles of stupid endurance I've been doing. I put together a plan on Sunday afternoon. No, I didn't. Fucking Wednesday afternoon. I started this thing on Thursday, so it's literally day 4. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Um, believe it or not, I'm actually all right at coaching kids. I just don't enjoy classes of it. Just don't enjoy it. It's funny. I'm not a cheerleader coach. And I do see benefit in that, right? Especially for kids, especially kids. They're not doing high technical work. They're not doing heavy loads. They're not doing high skill pieces. The kids need in the gym, in a group setting, they just need to have fun and enjoy being in there. And so I think the cheerleader approach actually works really quite well. Just realised my fucking ears were exploding. But I'm not a cheerleader. And whenever I coach kids' classes, I'm more miserable. I, I, I sort of blank face stare at them with a lot of sarcasm and dry, and they seem to enjoy it. I think that's quite a nice rapport when the kids understand. Obviously, a little bit older. I'm not talking 3 or 4-year-olds here. I'm talking like 6 to 10. They enjoy that kind of blank, dry, sharp thing. Good morning, Jethro. Hope you're well. Duration of the class. So we do 45 minutes. And that goes that I mean, so a lot of the kids' classes that my kids go to are 45 minutes. The only one that isn't, well, I say the only one, the one that they go to the most that isn't is the competition jiu-jitsu session. So the jiu-jitsu sessions they go to are 45 minutes, but they do one a week that's an hour, and that's when they're training for competition. So on a Friday night they do competitors class at the age of fucking 6 and 8. I mean, but even then it's more enjoyable. It's more kind of, there's a lot of downtime, there's rolling, there's sparring and stuff. So Steve, my boy went to rugby yesterday. He absolutely loved it. It was tag rugby, but yeah, he absolutely loved it, which is amazing for me to see. I'm trying to fucking WhatsApp seems to be broken. Yeah, my boy started playing rugby yesterday. Again, we tried him a long time ago, a couple of years ago. But the good thing is, it's one of the only things he's been able to do this week because he's got glue all over his face. Yeah, Matt, I've got a video. I'm trying to fucking pull it up. Steve, do you want to come on now, mate? I'll send you a link. Hang on. Copy. WhatsApp will fucking open. There you are. Right. Peace. There you go. I'll see if I can get that video now. Yeah, my wife went. I was at work. Hang on. Save desktop. Hang on, where are we? Video desktop. Here we go. Let's see if this opens. Right, there he is. Pretty quick on his feet. He's weaving through. He's gone through. Oh, that lag got him. Damn it. Yeah, Jon, we just talked about that, but we will talk about it again tonight. Don't you worry, boy. We can talk about that. We can make a highlight reel and we can talk about it. But yeah, 46. Mad, isn't it? Let me have another look at this. I need to see it. So my boy's got the ball. Weaving through. Oh boy. He was the last one, by the way. They all got tagged out. He went through. Dab. Nearly had it. I think the only guy that has some content on kids is Family Time Crosser, but it's just straight. Yeah, exactly. Man, the thing is, kids want to learn, and they're on YouTube watching a lot of shit. Here he is.
All right, mate.
Hello, mate. Hang on, how we doing? Just let's fucking get rid of this shit and get rid of that, and then remove the studio. There we go. How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Sound and everything working?
Yeah, why not? So you don't like my t-shirt?
Not really a Man United fan, mate, to be honest. I grew up with a load of Man United fans that had never been to Old Trafford, and one of them summed it up. The first time he ever went was to watch Bon Jovi, and no wrong with Bon Jovi, but it was just summed it up, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, never been there for an actual match. Yeah,
yeah. He goes now, though. Takes his daughter to watch the women, who are arguably better than the men right now. So.
Mate, that's it. So United women's team have sort of set a precedent for the other teams, because what do they have Old Trafford about 4 or 5 times a year now, don't they?
Yeah.
Which is awesome, which is great. It's showing, because I used to go to Reading. It was about 20 minutes from where we used to live, Reading women's team, and it was always on Sky Sports, and they would be able to sell out most of one of the stands. It'd be like the East stand, and the cameras would be on the East stand would be in the background. It looked like a full stadium, and the rest of the stadium fucking empty. It's just one stand. Whereas selling out Old Trafford at like close to 80,000 people going to watch women's matches 4 or 5 times a year, that's a decent turnout. And one thing that I've talked about privately with a lot of people is, and we've obviously got a very different environment in sport to the US, so I'm not going to reflect on what the US has. But in the UK especially, there's a big call for women's sports to be elevated and promoted and that kind of thing. Yoni boy. And the thing, my position on it is, I totally agree. There's a lot of money put into the elevation of it. But what I need to see more of is the stands for the live sport to be absolutely filled to the brim with women watching. I need to see that, because if you go to this football stadiums for men's sports, it's filled with men watching that sport. And if you want the money, if you want the input, if you want the finances and you want the promotion of it, you need to fill up the stadiums with demand, and it needs to be there, and it needs to be women that are going to watch it.
Do you think then that it can almost be, I don't want to say detrimental to its cause, to put it in stadiums that they're not filling? You know, like I heard Johnny talking on Pedro's thing, it's slightly different, but about growing a comp. You grow it out of the box and organically grow it so that it, you know what I mean? You're growing with it and everything's organic. Like if you go and put women's football in a massive stadium and then you're giving away free tickets and kind of almost not forcing people to go, but, you know, it seems a bit desperate. Do you think that's worse than actually just get it on Sky, give it some good, decent coverage, but then let it grow organically so that sometimes people maybe, I don't know, can't get tickets, and then it makes, you know, scarcity makes it a bit more.
Yeah. Growing a what?
I said comp. But I'll take anything.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen that specifically in CrossFit. We've seen that where people get too big for their boots. The comp just grows to too big, and it has to shut down or has to go back to its roots. We've seen that in the UK with quite a lot of them.
Well, the European Championships is a great example of that. Made a Red Balls of that, didn't he? Yeah,
exactly. And then I do you know what, the last iteration of it, the people that bought it and then they tried to make a league out of it and whatnot. I don't know how far that's gone. Is it gone for good now?
Oh yeah, I spoke to the guy that was representing the company that bought it, because he asked me if we'd get involved as the Defiant Coatus, you know, to help. Right. And I was like, absolutely not. I said to him, I had an open conversation with him. I was like, look, I'm not associating my name with that, because of the negative stigma around it. And I gave him some advice on to how he could, like, you know, start building the brand again. I told him to go around gyms, local level, speak, explain you've acquired it, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't do any of that. They just put a comp on again and then fucked it up again and didn't, you know, it meant to be EIS in Sheffield, good venue. And they just did the exact same thing.
So to give people some perspective on what we're talking about, we are talking about a CrossFit event. We're talking about something called the European Championships, which was in itself a second or third. It used to be Battle of the Beasts, which was the initial one that was from 10, 13 years ago. It then evolved into a licensed event called the European Championships, which was massive. It was a big deal. Kringle, Amy went over and she won it a few years back. So I think 2021, we had Connor went and Amy went and Erin went and Laura. We had a lot of people from the island went. Big event. And then they didn't pay. They lost a lot of money. And it went under. So it kind of lost all its credibility. I think actually Hiller might have done a little post on this a couple of years ago now. Anyway, it sort of disappeared for a little bit. And then it reappeared probably about 18 months ago now. And they've been bought out by a company. So this investment company had bought the name and they went to roll with it, and they wanted to make it sort of like a regional competition with a finals at the end of this regional in Sheffield. But the uptake, unfortunately, was very, very minor because of the association with that brand name, what had happened. But they'd gone way too big for their boots. They'd outgrown way too quickly. They got a little bit ahead of themselves, which is, and like you said, it's a bit of a catch-22 with growing competitions, because you have to, it's tough as an event organizer or a business organizer saying, right, enough's enough. We're big enough now. We're going to keep it here. That's going to be enough for us. And like Jon said, Hornsey from Battle for Middle Ground, he's fucking nailed it. Absolutely nailed the competition spectrum and what's available. From its grassroots growing, I've been to so many of it. Have you sold and...
Yeah, we sponsored Battle for Middle Ground as a power partner for 2 years. Hornsey even tried to help out with European Champs when Carl would like dangling by a thread with it. He offered to support and didn't put an out. But I know Hornsey worked quite hard to try and help them like that. But when they moved it to that Motorpoint Arena in Nottingham, it was so big. That's obviously it's a Motorpoint Arena, so he charged spectators so much that they didn't want to come. And then what happened was, not only that, the actual comp itself, because we were a vendor at it, they ran that behind on everything that they had to cut workouts. So one of the workouts, and then they cut the field after this workout. So then they didn't do it. So the field cut at the wrong time. It was great for us as a vendor because everyone was that bored waiting, they were spending. So all the vendors did really well, but the comp itself, I had like 3 athletes in it, and it was honestly, mate, a car crash. So it weren't only that they went too big, they went too big and then fucked it all up royally. So it was like a perfect storm. And then after that, it was just because the year before, when they still had it in Deep South, it was brilliant. Like they've been in that venue a few years. It were But
do you know what? There weren't many competitions in the London area for the longest of times, and it's probably because the venues were way too expensive. I hosted a very low level competition. We did 2. We did a winter and a summer games at our venue. We were at an athletics centre. We were about 10 minutes down the road from Brunel University. So one year we basically hired out Brunel indoor facilities and hosted this competition. And we had about, I think it was close to 350 athletes. And it was in the January before the Open. And Zach George competed there as prep for the Open that year, the Open when he qualified for regionals. I think it must have been 17, 18. But what we prided ourselves on was it was simple shit executed perfectly. Timing, we put so much precision into planning. The workouts weren't overcomplicated. We weren't doing fucking all the higher skill level shit and all the acrobatics and all that. It was proper grunt work CrossFit with a massive rig that we purchased, and it went fucking perfectly. We didn't charge for spectators. We just put plans in place. We had a few vendors there, not many, but enough. We gave the spot to local kind of food vendors to come down for free, and we just said, there you go, park up, sell your shit. We want you to be able to earn money here. We're not after making enough. All we wanted was to make enough money to buy the gym enough kit that we wanted to buy. That was the only reason we put on this competition. All of the volunteers there were members from my gym, and it didn't grow out bigger. Jon, Glacier's still going.
Yeah,
I went
been up
there
a few times.
Yeah, I went there. I did a partner work. Oh, speaking of Glacier, right? Speaking of Glacier games, one of the years, me and my mate Craig went, the Craig, it would have been 2016, 17. Indoor one. Two things happened. One, there were 30-inch box jumps in a 20-minute AMRAP in the semi-final, and this lad jumped down and his Achilles went, and the whole fucking room went silent. It went bang like a shotgun, and we all stood there. And at that point, you stood there doing an AMRAP, and you're doing the movement that they're doing, and you've seen this lad rolling on the floor, and I was like, fuck me, you're gonna have to carry on going there. Anyway, that was the first thing. Second thing, one of the workouts was this 3-parter. It was a 5-minute, 4-minute, 3-minute back-to-back. So what's that? 12-minute workout. The first 5 minutes was max thrusters. The 4 minutes in the middle, right, was a bungee cord. So it was a strap around your waist, and this bungee cord, you'd have to sprint down, touch a button, and you'd have a judge down there counting your reps, and then come back. And you had a bungee cord on, pulling you backwards, and then you take it off. It's a 4-minute AMRAP of just how many lengths can you do, and you had to take the strap off, put it on your mate, and all this kind of shit. It was mental. I don't think they ever did that again. It's a nice idea, but in reality, it wasn't a idea. And then 3 minutes of bar muscle ups, but it was an insane, totally unique thing I've never seen repeated at a competition. It was just this really weird thing that was added. But Glacier Games is, again, I think I went up there again for an Ice Age competition.
They do 3, don't they? I think there's Ice Age, Meltdown, and something else. Like,
yeah.
But speaking of that, doing different things at comps, while I've got you, and then there's people in the comments, probably a good time to ask. Like, so at the Defiant Games, we're behind on where we would have been at this point last year in terms of ticket sales, because this whole scene is so diluted, so many comps, and we do things a bit different. Like, we at the English Institute of Sport, so we've got like stuff available, like athletic stuff. So one year we did a long jump, we used a sandpit. The year after we did a shot put. We kind of made it a bit different. And this year we want to try and do something a bit different. And we're thinking about, how do you think it would go down? On one of the tracks is like about a 70-meter track. And we're thinking about getting a massive inflatable obstacle course and putting people through that as one of the workouts, just to be different and a bit out there. And then we're going to bring the long jump back, bring the shot put back, and then have one of each athlete do one of the. And I just wondered if that would be too gimmicky, or if you think it would be a good USP, because the crowd we go for is there's no categories, so it's all one floor. You know what I mean? There's no scale, no elite, no RX. It's meant to be big fun, all emphasis on engine, and people come for that reason. Like, so
yeah.
What do you reckon?
It's important to know your crowd, isn't it? And you could do anything at your comp, and if the people signed up enjoy it and are tested, that is effectively what we want a competition, isn't it? If they're tested enough. There's things like back in the day, we used to get tire flips and hammer hits and stuff like that. You never see that anymore. It just disappeared. I used to love that, going to comps back in the day. And it's nice to have these USPs. It's nice to have point of differences. And visually, I've never seen anyone absolutely ravaged having to go through a fucking bouncy castle. I've never seen that. So it'd be pretty unique.
When you announce these events, mate, they all like. I remember when we announced a long jump the first time we did that, and everyone was like, "Oh, you can't do that," and then they loved it. And then the shot put, they got stuck in, and then last year I sent you the pictures. Remember the stretcher carry? We got them carrying people on stretchers, and again, when I briefed it, everyone were like the same, and then they had the best time. The photos from it just made it. So yeah, we're just trying to just do something different that stands out because everyone's doing the same shit now.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find. Hang on. We had this idea of a similar kind of thing. We called it the Athletica Games, right? Because we were an athletic center. We used it, and we had bloody hell. What did we have? We had shot put, we had long jump, and we had 100-meter sprint, and it was all outdoors, summertime, athletics. And when we announced it, we had a similar kind of thing. People were like, there was a bit of interest in it, and like fucking Kelly Friel came along for that competition, and that was when she was, she was pretty decent athlete still at the time. This was like 2017. She
still is, isn't she?
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It was when she was like, obviously, this is what 8 years ago, so she would have been in the 35.
Prime then,
prime. Yeah, you can demo it.
Yeah, he's saying that because he's seen me move.
Yeah, you've done a 5K race on a bouncy castle. Jesus.
I'm at that age where I need stable terrain, to move on.
Yeah. I was saying about this morning. I did a high rocks class this morning. There's fucking so much running, and I put on my fucking cloud shoes, and I was like, mate, if I don't wear these now, I am walking like a twat for the next week with my knees. I need comfort through my knees. But no, you're right. People get bored of the same shit all the time. And I think part, at least, not all of it, but part of the whole competition scene over the last few years, it's got very samey. It's got very, right, we're doing a triplet. And Tyler talked about this the other day. We're doing triplets and couplets. It's all too CrossFit-y. There's no uniqueness to these competitions. Part of that, a few years ago, we had this scene throughout the year where it was like Dubai was a big one. And it was like you're fucking doing a half marathon through the desert. Then you're climbing up the Burj Khalifa. And it's like, you're not doing that anywhere else. It's this uniqueness to these competitions. And just because they're not indoors on a competition floor with a rig and a barbell and an echo bike, it doesn't mean it's not. Look at fucking Tribal Clash. Look at District L. Look at Clash of the Clans. Look at all these competitions in the UK that are by far and without a shadow of a doubt the biggest comps that we have in the UK by a margin. They're not indoors with barbells. They're outdoors in the elements doing functional fitness in its most primal form. And there's a reason for that, because we don't want to do necessarily the same shit we do in the gym all the time, just quicker and with more intensity. That's testing CrossFit for CrossFit's sake. That's a totally different type of fitness, and it's very specific, and it's almost getting specialist. We're supposed to be generalists. So rather than doing these double couplets and triplet workouts that are 12 minutes long, that's a barbell, a gymnastics piece, and a rower, why not do something a little bit different that looks pretty cool? And the idea, obviously programmed to suit. I'll tell you what, is there a swimming pool there or not?
Where at? Where I am?
Is it the EIS that you're doing that?
Yeah, they're in.
So have you been to a swimming pool where they've had one of those bouncy castle things floating on top?
Oh God, yeah, they're class, aren't they? Yeah.
Right, imagine having to like swim around one of them, climb up, go over the top, and then do a lap. That would be fucking mental. Hello, Megan. How you doing? Yeah, the farm. So farm.
My name's Steve. Megan, pleased to meet you.
Yeah, buddy. Steve from Defiant. Hello, Grant. It looks like a few people have woken up. That's good. Andrew Chase used to face it. So yeah, I mean, there's. I think to add you, and look, we talked about Hornsey and Battle for Middle Ground. The whole fucking, it's in the name. Battle for Middle Ground. It was supposed to be the middle ground athletes, the people in the middle that aren't scaled, that aren't the RX elite people, that the people in the middle that can probably bust out a couple of bar muscle ups, but it's mainly that grunt work that are really fit, that aren't quite at the stand of an RX, want to test that, the middle ground. That's completely unique. And all these unique competitions that come about, yeah, they're not going to be for everyone. They're not going to be for your serious semi-pro fucking foot spacer fucking athletes that are, doing all that shit. It's for people that want to test again, it's why High Rocks have cleaned up so much. Yeah. It's just different. It's not a couplet or a triplet. It's just different. It's why I'm doing one in 5.5 weeks. It's why I did a powerlifting competition the other day. I want to test my fitness in different domains, not just couplets and triplets over 4 workouts over the course of a day. That's not what interests me in testing my fitness. I will do one a year, but only to test it. And for me, that's the Open. That's where the Open comes into it. I test my CrossFit ability in a CrossFit gym, doing CrossFit and doing the official Open. Other than that, for me, I'm testing my fitness outside of the gym in different domains. And that's just for me. But I totally get why people want to do proper, events and high licensed events and all that stuff. But when is the Defiant Games?
May 18th, 17th. So whatever that Sunday is anyway.
Right, okay.
Next year.
So it's I call it couples. Is it a couples one?
It's team of 3, mate.
3, right, okay. So me and Jon, do you reckon we can get Stephen up? Me, you and Stephen team up. Let's do it. Let's go.
Get in.
We've got you're up at Rogue, aren't you? So
yeah.
Why didn't you like my t-shirt ideas, by the way? I really liked Rogue Juan.
There were 2 things. They were very niche, but then they were cool. But then also, I don't think you looked at them through the lens of a t-shirt printer either. The amount of the print on the back of that would have been extreme. But I'm coming up with something. Pedro had a good idea, and then I've sent it to my designer. And she's like going to twist it up, and we've got some good ideas coming with that. It's going to be cool.
Hang on, let me show people that might not have seen it. Rogue Juan. You could have done something with that. He looks like the Wall Street lifter. Yeah,
he looks like Saddam Hussein, mate.
That's what I was going for. ChatGPT, create an image of Saddam Hussein. Flying a Star Wars fighter. Right, so talking of what's this? How night walking feministas get their life. Yeah. Hello, Jeremy. Right, so talk me through. So I started talking about it last week and it wasn't quite right. So we'll talk about it now. So we'll come up what's the idea first of all? What's the new website that's live now?
So, basically, we got asked a lot through Defiant Print Services. We do loads of kit for loads of gyms, like we've talked about on here in the past. And a lot of them have come to us before and asked if they can sell through our website, and we handle all the fulfillment and such like. And we've always struggled with that to sort of make that. I don't know. It's hard because you want the gyms to make a little bit of money off the merch, but then obviously when stuff comes through us, we've got to pay VAT and corp tax on every transaction. So it doesn't leave much money in it for the gym. So our advice to them has always been, well, why don't you just go do it in bulk? You'll make some money, and then we can still fulfill it for you. But what we've found is even in doing that, some of the gyms are coming back to say, I'm not that interested in making money. I just want people to wear the stuff. So we looked at it, and then I think it's Anya, a company that sponsor Pedro, and they do a similar sort of thing. So it gives gyms the ability to house their merch on our website, but through a shop that will present as their own, as you shown with the Slevin one the other week. And then their members can come on, order the stuff. Gym owners don't have to do anything. Come straight through us. We fulfill it, ship it direct to the members. They wear it in the gym. And we just wanted to get that right. So we started having a look around at what these companies, such as Anya, there's a couple of others, what they do and how we could make our offering better, basically, because we're in the space through the Defiant Co and Defiant Print Service. We've already got that credibility in the space. So we wanted to make sure our offering was what we consider premium. And in doing that, we've come up with 3 tiers that people can take depending on where they're at in their sort of journey of gym ownership and what they're like in terms of members and things like that. But we're also going to be a little bit sort of flexible with it as well. In true Defiant style, we want the customers to get the most out of it. And we're not just going to hold customers to the tiers that we can present in a minute if you've got them, Jake. We're going to allow them to still do bulk orders outside of that. So if they want to do a pre-order, for example, order 50 teas because the members have pre-ordered them, ship them out to the gym in one go. They do that. And then for the stragglers that come on and say, oh, I wish I'd ordered, then they can send them to our website. And I know a lot of these sites don't do that. They do like, it's one or the other. So we're trying to just bridge that gap. And then also knowing what we know from within the space and speaking to people like yourself, like Pedro, like all the gym owners I talk to, we've come up with other things that we can include by leveraging the Defiant Co, as opposed to just Defiant Print Services, and our knowledge of the space to actually make that offering better in its entirety. So it's not just about having a front end shop that your members can purchase teas and stuff from.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I'll pull up the website to start with.
Yeah.
To show you, to show people what the actual website looks like. So this is Slevin. So Slevin is the gym. Slevin's own URL dedicated up the top there with defiantservices.com. Not that you can see me highlighting that. And then these are the prints that are available. So if I was to go there, I like the look of this hoodie, select options, choose option. It's all geared out and ready to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not a large, I'm an XL. Oh, no, I'm not double XL. There we go. Add to basket and go. See my card there. But yeah, fucking brilliant idea, like Jon said. Now what I'm going to try and do is pull up the.
If you just click back, can you click back on that, mate, and scroll to the bottom, because then it'll give context to something that I want to show that we added as well.
Hang on, just got rid of it. Let's go. Links. Go dibbity bibbity bobbity boo. Share screen. Hold the phone. There we go. Right.
So you scroll right to the bottom. These teas will keep populating because they've got quite a few on. So you'll see here where it says sponsors. So what we're suggesting with this is, which you'll see on the tiers in a minute, is you can have up to 5 slides there. Now, Slevin are on the package there means that we control this advertising space. So obviously we've put our companies and our where we want to send people to. But if you were to take the different tiers, the second tier, which we'll come on to in a bit, you get 2 or 3 of those slides. So what you can do as a gym owner is you can use it as your local message board. If you've got local businesses in the gym that you want to enable them to, because like you said, Jake, before, everyone has that pinboard in the gym, who's a plumber, who's a sparky, all that, in case you need any assistance. You could have them here because your members are going to be going to this page frequently, and then it'll take them directly into their websites. Or what we're going to suggest gym owners do is, again, your members, what they're into. If you can approach local businesses or even, things like Mergs, for example, that do accessories, and say to them, we're going to charge you X amount a month or an affiliate link style model to have your name there, then you could probably negate the cost of the monthly subscription just by recouping money for these. And then when you're in our top premium tier, you get all of this sponsorship. So you could have 5 slides, as we'll come on to. It's a £99 monthly fee to have that tier. But if you charge 25 quid each for all those slides, you'd actually make money and not have to pay the recurring fee. And then when we come on to it, you'll see some of the benefits we're going to give people that take that tier that are so valuable in themselves that we're giving it away.
Yeah.
And you were one of the people that I sent the pack to, and everyone said the same. These tiers are too cheap, so we did increase the price a little bit. That's why we delayed talking about them properly.
Yeah, that's what you just said about. So that's the slide. These are the 3 tiers.
Yeah, and if you go on to the next one, so we can go through them, I can. So this one, this is basically, we've called it launch, so it's no monthly fee, 150 quid setup. Then it goes through, you get 10% from every order. 6 products online, but you have the ability to add extras, which we'd just do a little charge for in terms of getting the stuff online. Then obviously it's all quite self-explanatory, but you see there your branding and DPS branding. So like we saw on that Slevin website, it says Slevin and then Defiant Print Services. And like Jake said, the URL is slevin.defiant print services. Advertising space managed by ourselves, no monthly fee, and you get a free website update every quarter. So if you decide you want to change your products, we'll do that quarterly for you for free. If you want to do it outside of that cycle, we'll just charge you a rate at 50 quid an hour just for our web guy to go and do that. But then it obviously increases in value as we go up. So if we go on to the next one, so this is 49 quid a month. One thing to consider on that one as well, the previous slide, is what we're going to do again to help, because the kind of people that are on this tier, the kind of gyms that are on this tier might not have loads of members. They might just be starting out. So that 150 quid setup fee, we're going to allow gyms to claw that back. So they don't have to pay us 150 quid. They can we'll just take it from the 10% until they've, cleared their slate, and then they'll get their money. So that's just an option that we'll provide to them, on the off chance that they are in that early stage. So we're not trying, we're trying to help them, as opposed to, we're still going to make money, obviously, but we're trying to help them rather than just drop them a 150 quid fee, because that can be quite a lot at the start when you're trying to set up. So on to the next one, mate. So that's pretty similar, but what we've done here, so you're getting your £49 a month fee, 50 quid setup. So the things to notice here that we've added in there, it's staff uniforms. So if you want your coaches kitted out, we'll do 10% off that. They'll get 10% off the Defiant Co, because obviously that's a good selling point for members to have brands on board. 10% off the Defiant Games tickets, 50% off our graphic design. Unlimited products as opposed to the 6 previously, a slightly quicker delivery time, your business branding only. So at the top of the one that we looked at where it says Defiant Print Services and Slevin, it'll just say Slevin. The URL is still the same. Like we talked about, the advertising space, 50-50 between us and you. You get a monthly website update as opposed to quarterly, but you just have to give us a month's notice to cancel on that one.
Wow.
So a few more perks on that one. And then this is the one that's like, I think if people have the foresight to use this and use it properly, there is some real value in this. So it's 99 quid a month. You're not paying a setup fee. You're getting 15%, the same perks as before, but with 15% off as opposed to 10. Free graphic design, only one quarter, but that's 99 quid an hour. Unlimited products, unlimited photos, slightly faster delivery time, fully white labeled, including the URL. So it might say shop.slevin.com. Obviously, it can't just, we've got to still have something in there, but we'll be taking Defiant Print Services out of that. All the advertising space managed by you, which is up to 5 slides. 2 free website updates a month if you want to mess about with your products, more frequently. And then you can cancel anytime, just have to let us know. But then I think the real kicker on this, which is people won't, know the value in this, but I do personally. The free quarterly marketing call with C2 Consultancy. So I know everyone sees the word consultancy and it's an immediate turn off and all that, but that is my business partner's other business. Now she's a marketer, she does that. She's a business consultant. She makes processes more slick, and she enhances people's income and everything. And I know that because she has done that for the Defiant Co. So many people say to me, about 2 years ago, your marketing kind of changed and everything were a bit, and it was her, it's not in your face. It's not cheesy. She'll just put processes in place. She'll help you with your CRM. She'll help you build things out, help you build your database out. When I started working with Tori, I had 900 people on our database or something. And now we've got 10,000, just from collecting emails. I'm going to events, not getting data, but selling stuff. Then people can't find me again. Now we pick up data as well. So she's absolutely brilliant. And what we're going to do is host a call. It'll happen quarterly. It'll be in the diary. And everyone that's on this will get the Teams invite and they'll all join together. So not only is it a consultancy call where you will get advice about what's hot in the market. She owns her own gym, so she knows how to promote a gym. You'll also get the benefit of it kind of being like a mini focus group about the fitness community, because we'll have all these gym owners together and we can use it as more than just a marketing call. We can use it to discuss what's going on in the scene, who's facing what challenges, what's worked at your gym, what can work here. And it brings us a bit more together. So that's a really valuable call. And then the Defiant Co gift for your members. So what I do for CrossFit 17, who good mate, Ambassador Yatesy, every time they get a member of the month, he just pings me the name and the shirt size, and we have a personalised Defiant Co shirt made up for him, so we ship that out. So just little perks like that all give value to your members. You know, if you look at all those things, that's a good offering for your members just from those bits. And how, you know, if your gym membership's going to be probably more than £100 a month for an all-you-can-eat CrossFit membership, that could lead to an increase in members just by you being able to offer these perks and these value adds. So we think that this is the one, but we feel we've got all bases covered with all of them. And you know, when I've said that out loud, I still think it's too cheap, but
you've done it now. It's out there. But mate, if I'm a gym owner, I'm biting your hand off. You know, before you change your mind on the price. You're getting a lot there. And, you know, I've said this before, and I said this last weekend when I was just rambling. As a gym owner, the fucking logistics and the time and the processing and the collecting of money and the ordering and the, you know, quality assurance and the feedback and all that kind of crap. I would have, if I could have done that and had a steady flow, not having to do the ordering myself, not Excel spreadsheets, not bloody opening the box and opening it up and the print slightly, whatever it is, the posting, all that kind of shit, having the stock, you know, sat in my gym doing nothing, with people on holiday not picking it up. Where's my t-shirt? This just streamlines everything. It's out of your hands, but you own it. It's such a valuable tool for a gym owner to have. This I'd imagine if you're a typical gym selling stuff at your gym, I'm thinking you're probably going to save at least 4 or 5 hours of work a month on this. And for £99, call it £20 an hour. That's nothing, absolutely nothing. And you're getting people walking around with your branding on it, advertising your shit, wearing crap that they are going to love. Everyone's a winner with this. And like you said, that's not even one, less than one member a month, and it pays for itself, and you're getting the money back, 15% back. It's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you advice, mate, actually, as well, because we are. I think I'm going to come down to Coaches Congress now because I had an event on that weekend that I haven't got on, so I'm going to come down.
Amazing.
And I want to have a handout for this. And I was wondering the best way to do it because nobody likes flyers. I didn't know whether just to try and talk to people as and when I can. Obviously, I know there's going to be stuff going on. I'm not going to try and hijack anything. If I'd have known where I was going to be available, I would have had a stall. I'd have pitched up, and which we'll do next time. But we were thinking maybe like, you know, because I'll be having conversations with people. Do I just have a conversation with them? Here's a business card with a QR code. The QR code takes them to these packs, and then, or is that too?
Defiant Co. I can print a QR code on the front of your t-shirt
and get people to scan me.
People would just take a photo of you with a Defiant code with a QR code that goes straight from your t-shirt.
Oh man, that's one of them, isn't it? Where it's like fashion versus how much do I want to sell?
You're complete gimp, but
I know I look like you in that Man U shirt, don't I?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I reckon that could be a the handouts. I don't know. This is going to be the first time I've gone, but I don't know if the handouts are going to be too much for people.
Well, you just empty bags, don't you? When you get a bag full of stuff at an event, it all goes in bin, doesn't it? Let's face it.
Most of it will go in the bin. I think a lot of it needs to be links. It needs to be QR codes. It needs to be like direction. I think the QR code is the key to all this. People can just save it and do that. And the other thing is the whole point in having a QR code on the front of your t-shirt, you just say, right, take a photo of me, or give someone your phone, take a picture of you with them, and then they got the QR code on with you, and you get loads of photos taken. I don't know. The QR code is a good idea, but you'd have to have it like or just one on a lanyard, just laminated lanyard and have it around your neck and just say, right, scan this, rather than a handout. I think probably a good idea.
I guess maybe the way to do that is to, sorry for just being boring and talking about this here, but like maybe it's to have the QR code for them to sign up to something that gives me their email address and phone number, and then I can recontact them about this rather than take them direct to the pack for them to pick a tier.
Yeah.
That'd
be a good idea.
work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I knew you'd have the answers, mate. You might have let me down on that T-shirt, but you've nailed it on that.
Yeah, there's no letting you that. Rogue Juan is a fucking cracking idea.
And it'd be good. Someone's going to have that. You're going to send it to one of other vendors at Rogue, and it's going to sell everything, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, go with that one. Right, mate. So good. So you definitely coming to Coach Congress.
Yeah.
Cool. Where the fuck was it? I pulled it up earlier. Don't know where it is. Hannah's presenting. Hannah Mitu.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. She's on. So there's this picture I found earlier, and it's like just annoying. My Instagram's logged me out, and I can't be bothered to fucking log back in.
To make sure them teas are ready for about then. So she's got all them on.
Yeah. It was Coaches Congress.
That's the other thing we're doing with that, mate. You know, just to go back to the site,
yes.
I've created Hannah a site that will have up and running for her just to support that.
Amazing.
And we've used her color codes and everything, so it'll all match her. So there's people just click a button on her website, it'll take them straight through to there, and then we'll ship the items and then send her the profit. So she wouldn't be paying any of the fees or anything because we're supporting that program, and we're taking all our branding off, so it's full support as opposed to, you know, doing it for anything.
And I'll pull it out. This is a pretty where are we? I was going to bring this up anyway. So you got Austin Malalio there, and then Hannah's right next to her at the top. Him at the top. With Facundo, where is? Oh yeah, Facundo's just there as well. So that honestly, the amount of it is world class. Like everything's put. He can say he's fucking doing it all. But that is gonna be such a massive gathering, an opportunity, huge. And anyone that's taken their gym ownership serious or their coaching and isn't there, like you need to be there. And me and Jon have got like in terabyte back storage things for the phones and all that kind of shit. So we're going to be trying to make as much kind of content and stuff when we're there. We'll be wandering around doing stuff, but yeah, we'll pick up a bit offline about all that stuff.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, nice one. Right, mate. Cool. All good.
What are you doing for the match?
The match. Well, I'll be honest. Hello, Jodie. Me and Joseph. Me and Jon are on at 6 o'clock tonight. So we're on in 4.5 hours, and I've got to do a tip run. I've got to go to the beach with the kids for this motorbike thing, and I've got to go for a walk in the woods on their bikes. I've got so much shit to do in like 3 hours. Like 4 hours once I get off here. I don't think I'm gonna have much time to watch anything. So we'll see about that.
I'll keep you updated by text then, mate.
Thanks very much. I'll be wearing my t-shirt. Yeah, all good. Cool. Right, mate. Well, good to have you on.
Cheers.
I'm going to carry on for another 5 minutes and then tell these reprobates to go and work out and stuff. But yeah, I'll thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it, and I'll speak to you in a bit.
Nice one. Cheers, bro.
Bye now. The mighty Steve from Defiant Services, Defiant Print Company, Defiant Games, Defiant Series, just Defiant. Even though he doesn't like my t-shirt, which is a Retro United t-shirt. Jodie, what you saying? What's up? What's going on, girl? What you doing? You just woken up? Oh, bloody hell. I don't really have much to add now. Oh, good. Log in there. Right, I did see a couple of things on Instagram that I could pull up that I liked. Where are we? This was just funny. See, once I go down the route of playing funny Instagram videos, I'm one of them. I'm one of those people that just sort of plays Instagram things. It's like those emails your mum used to send around was like pictures of cats, and it was like, if you don't send this to 10 people, this cat's gonna get AIDS or something. Yeah, buddy. You go and do that. You go and do that. Keeping on the rate. Yeah, buddy. 4.5 hours. The countdown has begun. Yon and I are on at 6 o'clock on Glinton Things channel. Now, I made a video yesterday and for Glinton channel and posted it for members only. And it's going to go live for public tonight in 11 hours. Have a listen. It's 16 minutes long, and what it is, it's an application. Later, governor. It's an application of my degree was history and fucking classics, right? So I've wondered how I could use that for this channel or just life, really. And I found a way. Should keep it members only for now. The thing is, Jon, it is only members only. And all the I think that the number count is at how many members we've got. I'm not sure many people are going to actually watch it from now. But don't feed the peasants. Yeah, let them have their cake. It's called Echoes and Daffodils, right? And I want to start this thing where I'm talking about using parallels and learnings from mythology and applying it to modern life. And I know for a lot of you, it won't, it's just boring and it doesn't matter, which is fine. But I've got to find my niche, and I'm not Sean Connery finding his brother's daughter. My niche, he's found his niche. My niche is history and mythology. Hence the certain number of fucking. I got Sisyphus on my arm pushing a rock. I've got Athena there. I've got all sorts of shit going on. More to follow. But finding parallels and talking about it and observations. And this week's one was the myth of Echo and Narcissus. Maybe that's the name for your new show, Jon. Jon Solo should be Ice Cream and Fanny. And Yanks, we don't, Fanny doesn't mean, there we go. Can we talk about scary thing? Yes, we can, Jenny. So here's the thing with that. So I wanted to go on like a run, right? A run of using Pukey in film settings. And that was the theme behind it, right? So today's one was about Fight Club. Let me see if I can pull it up. Downloads. And they are a bit scary, aren't they? Some of them. Have I I'm not going to go through my whole fucking thing, but I'll try and find it. Hang on. Oh dear, it's gone. Anyway, so today's one brought to you by. Put up the one that I sent you. What, from this morning? I will do in a minute. So the theme is Pukey, and I want to add Pukey and have him in a film setting that is to do with what I want to talk about. So today's one, it took me a fucking while to get ChatGPT to fucking produce it because it wouldn't let me have, which is mental. It wouldn't have me have a dark-skinned person holding a needle because it went against its policies, and it took a long time to get it right. But the thumbnail was Fight Club with Pukey having a fight with Serena Williams holding a needle. And it took me a long time to do that. But yeah, that's the thing for today. But I'm quite. Here's an exclusive. One that didn't quite make the cut. One that was just Pukey. Before I added in. One before I added in Serena was that one. And that was the Brad Pitt picture of him stood looking really lean that Savon fucking wanks over him in the Fight Club position. And I put like prompts to add Pukey on top of him. And that was the poster before that. And I just fancied having Pukey involved in films to represent what the theme of the show is. So what about Serena? Yeah, exactly. So the whole her Ozempic, Pukey representing CrossFit, Serena Williams representing the injecting adverts and the use of those GLPs that we talked about. So, but yeah, getting the prompts right for those is quite fun. I'll sit there and just kind of come up with it in between fucking sets and sessions at the gym. I'll just sit there with my iPad, just coming up with them. But yeah, I'll move on from Pukey soon. But I've got a few more that I want to do. I think I've got Jurassic Park. One that I'm working on for next week is Alien. I want to get Pukey as Rapley. There we go. Cool. But yeah, there we go. Cool. Well, Sevi's on in just over an hour. You're one of the guys in there. No, so Joseph, I'm talking about when I'm on my own or I'm between coaching hours. Life finds a way. Do you like that one? Yeah. Bit too graphic, isn't it? Oh, thanks, Jody. So I'll continue. One that I really did like, but I haven't used yet. I'm not going to tell you all of them. Yeah. So Joseph, so the powerlifting competition I had last weekend, the warm-up area was 3 floors up. So this gym that we were hosting it in, the base, we were in like the ground floor for the actual competition. The warm-up area is 3 floors up. Now, I was competing against loads of guys that don't do CrossFit or don't do much in the way of just general fit, like cardiovascular stuff. By the time we'd walked down from the warm-up area, all of them were out of breath, all sweating. I was absolutely fine. So the recovery between sets is quite, higher. However, yeah, they do. They really didn't like it. I was fine though, so I was all right. But yeah, it was. Do you know what? And this is why I want more people to do fucking powerlifting competitions. Is because I want us CrossFitters to go and show powerlifters that we don't have to specialize in powerlifting to get really fucking strong doing what we're doing, and we're not out of breath between fucking 2 reps. Yeah, we're not going to win the competitions, but we'll do pretty well at it, right? So, and the nutrition as well. We're not shoveling in Haribo and brownies and cans of Monster, although it's C4 today. That we can do all this shit that they can, not quite as good necessarily, but we can really show up and we can put in the work and show what we're capable of doing. I love that about CrossFit. That's what I love about what we do. I can turn up at pretty much any event aged 40 and keep up with mid 20-year-olds that are specialists. And I do everything else. It's fucking what I love. There's a few guys that come to the High Rock sessions on the Sunday morning when I'm coaching next door. And they're the runners. They're really, really fucking good at running. But as soon as they come back in from the run portion and come in and they got to do, I don't know, power cleans or kettlebell carries or whatever, totally different ball game. And I love the fact that you got mixed modal side of it. We've always had that with CrossFit. We've always had that. We've had the skinny guys with the slightly rounded back that are runners or play soccer, and they come in and they're really good at running. They have their day once a week at the gym. They have their day where it might be 400 intervals or something, and they just smash everyone, and they always sweat everywhere. What is it about those guys that just sweat everywhere? Anyway, we have our day, and the powerlifter type, he comes in and he does 2 WODs a week, and he cherry picks, and he comes in and he does the heavy squats or the deadlifts. And he is shit at most other stuff because he's really fucking strong. But what I love about what we do is that we can do everything to a pretty good degree, and we keep up. And that, my friends, is the Hopper model. And that is why CrossFit is so damn effective, and why we need to keep it constantly varied rather than just one thing over and over and over again. So, yes, Steve, get the bouncy castle ready. Me and Jon are coming. Right. Anyway, enough of that. I really need to sort this poster out behind me, don't I? I'm a heavy sweater. Probably die. Yeah, Kenneth, are you one of those skinny types? I can't really tell. So here's my thought on all of that. Right, is that the skinny guys, they're really fucking hydrated, and that they've got a lot of lean mass. Well, not a lot of lean mass. They are lean mass, but they don't have much body fat. And their metabolism is quite high. They run through that water because they sweat a lot because they're constantly elevated in that position. As soon as they start exercising, they just fucking sweat. Their heat regulation has to be a bit better. And I think that's why you always get those types. It's always the skinny guys that are wearing like really tight t-shirts with the tiny shorts on, with the running shoes, and they come in the gym and then they sweat everywhere. And they don't use a towel, and then they go and they don't clean up after themselves. We had a beautiful moment at the gym yesterday. There's this guy that's been off for 3 months. He had a real serious medical condition. He's late 50s, relatively lean. I love his tattoos he's got. He's got this like blueberry bush going across around from his side. Anyway, lovely guy. Comes to the gym purely for the culture, for us to have a lot of banter, but he's been medically quite unwell. He came back yesterday, and he was the last person finishing the workout, and every fucker in the gym was stood around talking to him and getting him through it. And it was one of those moments I was like, this is what it's about. This is why I come to the gym. This is why group setting is much more important. This is why people come here. And it was one of those moments I was like, if only I could step back and take a photo or a video of this. This is the real shit. This is what will get people coming in. He'd missed it, he'd missed being there. He'd missed that feeling, and it was really cool. Yeah, exactly. Use a towel, but don't, please, for the love of fucking God, do not try and mop up with a paper towel. You create more problems than it was with just sweat, or even if you drop your drink, right? Even if you spill your can. Do not use paper towels. Your gym owner will hate you forever if you do that, because it just leaves a layer of shit and blue or white little bits of paper they have to clean up anyway after you. Anyway, there's lots of things gym owners get annoyed at, but what they don't get annoyed at is you turning up, training, putting all the effort in, being part of our group, our little clan, going about your merry way of being healthy. Do you know what I did yesterday, Joseph? I found out the average height of males in the world is 5'7". That seems really short. And the average height of a woman is 5'2". Now, here's my thought on this. Is that there's a lot of Indian and Chinese people, like 3 billion. Are they like bringing down the average? Because they're generally speaking, they're a little bit shorter. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Liver King was right, releasing our testosterone. Well, Speak for yourself. I am ravaged with it, even though you can't tell. Yeah. Did I tell you guys about the medical condition that I have in my brain? Have I told you about that? Not ill, not mentally ill. It's worth 350. But me. I always forget that when I'm talking to you, Jon. We need to check in with Athena. I talked to her yesterday about it, but I just wanted to make sure. She had a pretty major operation. And I won't talk about everything, but it's all public. But I won't air it now. But as soon as she's ready, we'll have her on. I'll message her now. I remember. Hey. Right. You're good. Jon's a beast. Jon's a beast. So yeah. Have I got it on here? I'm sure I've brought this up before. Hang on. Shall I bring this up? Yeah, why not? Desktop. Is that it? There we go. Right, so this, my friends, is my brain, my head from the back. So this is an MRI, and this is from the rear view looking forward. And this is a cyst. And it's about the size, bigger than a golf ball. And right here, down the bottom, no, here, sorry, is the pituitary gland. Right in here. Yeah, fucking giant neck. Hells yeah. And the pituitary gland is being pushed on by this cyst. And so far, so good. No issues. But it's something that needs to be monitored and kept on top of. So if ever I've got an excuse. If ever I go on a fucking mental rampage, right, I've got a medical excuse. So I can say whatever the fuck I want. What an excuse that would be, eh? Imagine that. Starmer wants to put me in prison or something. I'll go, no, I've got a medical sign off. I can say what I want. How they find that? That was so funny enough, it's an accidental find. So I went through disc replacement, obviously 5 years ago, my neck. And I was having an MRI. They do MRIs just to check up every 2 years on my neck. And this was 2020, 2023. No. Yeah, end of 2023 anyway. They did an MRI on my neck and my head. And I got a phone call from the hospital and they said, we need you to come in to have a discussion about your MRI. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, dickheads. So I thought it was going to be something about the fucking disc or the metal or something like that. And they came in and the guy sat me down. He said, we found a cyst in a cranial cyst. And I was like, okay. Yeah, you've got a golf ball sized cyst in your brain. I was like, fuck. It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor. Important difference there. It's not a tumor. It's not dangerous and in the slightest. The only impact it will have is on the encroachment on certain parts of the brain. So absolutely fine. It can cause headaches now and again and nauseousness and whatnot, but that's just normal stuff for people. The concern from medically is obviously if it grows, but I don't think it will. I don't know. Got an MRI coming up. But it's the pressing down on the pituitary gland. So if you imagine like a a stand with a cup like that. The pituitary gland sits in that cup and it pokes out a little bit out the top. It's like, imagine like a little ball. This is simplifying. I'm not a medical fucking practitioner. You know, the cyst is sat on top and it's pushing down into it. So the pituitary gland is being squashed into that cup more. So it might not be as active in the long run as I need it to be. Which is why I'm probably emotionally stunted. Yeah. I think people figure that out. I think, yeah. Exactly. All your friends and me. But yeah, so it is somewhere between a golf ball and a tennis ball size, and it's sat right behind it's sort of behind the left eye, Lisa left eye. Oh, that could be what I call it. Lisa left eye Lopez. Anyway. So yeah, there we go. They are harmless unless they start impacting the brain tissue or encroaching on that. So there we go. So if ever I go off the handle, if ever you read in the paper or something, oh, madman goes on rampage, that'll be why. There we go. Yeah. So the size of scrotum. I heard a thing is that gorillas' willies are like 4 centimeters long. That's nuts, isn't it? Well, it's literally, they're all nuts. They're not. Yeah, they leave it. So they scan every 2 years, and it's a sac. I'm talking about the cyst, not the scrotum. It's a sac filled with just fluid, just sat there doing nothing. And yeah, Megan, it's an MRI on my neck every 2 years. I've got 2 discs replaced in my neck at the back there. They scooped out the old discs and put in some artificial ones with metal clamps drilled into the vertebrae either side, and the thing just goes in. Hence why I can't really do handstand push-ups anymore, because why would I? Doesn't it impact the medulla oblongata? That's a great word. What is that other one? Corpus callosum. There's what's that? The corpus callosum is the sheath between each of the hemispheres of the brain. And apparently there's a correlation between the size of the corpus callosum and if you're gay. Who knew? Look it up. Yeah, they just leave it. And if it gets to the point where it needs draining, they can't really remove it. They just drain it. So they go in through, someone told me about this. The fucking medical person. It does sound like a gay spell, doesn't it? Corpus callosum. Hi. That explains that. Yeah. They go in through. They go in through here, I think. I don't know. They go up through there. Maybe through the nose. I can't remember. Yeah. Well, you lot seem to. You knows best. Like, remember Total Recall when Arnie's got the thing up his nose, the red beacon thing, and they pull it out. Is there a new Running Man film coming out? Because Running Man's out on. They've made a big push for it on Netflix. Running Man. No way, it is coming back. Who's in it? Who is that gimp? There's a new Running Man film. Edgar Wright stars Glenn Powell. Oh, they're going to ruin it, aren't they? They're going to completely ruin it. Oh, dear. One of my favourite Arnie films is about to be obliterated. Cranking my Hogwarts. I don't care who It's not Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger, is it? I don't give a shit about who Glenn Powell is. He's a nobody. He's a nothing. The only person that I would tolerate would be Jack Reacher, matey boy. That's the only person Alan Richardson, is that his name? He's the only person that could potentially fill half of Arnie's shoes. But don't ever try. It's like they try and do Predator again, and they're that fucking, what's his name? The pianist. Can't remember his name. He dared to utter and try the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator film. Adrian Brody. I mean, what was that? Fuck off. And I think they're doing a Red Sonja as well. Ugh, makes me sick. Yeah, Alan Richardson, if he, or Bumstead, yeah, sure he's a nice enough fella. I don't know about his acting abilities. But yeah, get them in. Not this Glenn Powell, whatever the fuck his name is, Gimp. I hope Arnie's got like a cameo as one of the organisers. What a great film Running Man was. Those jumpsuits. Oh, honestly, can we just have a moment? Running Man jumpsuit. Oh, what a thing of absolute beauty this was. Hang on. Gimp. He's a gimp. Look at that. Oh, absolutely stunning. But yeah, great film. Absolutely great film. One of Arnie's bests. He is a gimp. No, not Hemsworth. No, he's a liar and a fraud. He tried getting into our business. Fuck him. I hear the trip for a long walk is to watch it. Yeah. British. I know. It is, isn't it? Right. Well, I can't remember what we're fucking talking about now. Running Man. Up the nose. That was it. Yeah, they go in and they just drain it. If it gets too big. Gay cyst confirmed. Well, he should be okay. Mobland is. Me and Jon talked about Tom Hardy a lot yesterday. Taboo. If anyone hasn't seen Taboo, get on it. Right, the second series is coming soon. I'm not sure it's going to be linked directly. It might just be a complete spin-off within that universe. But what a series that was. The Revenant. Just The Warrior. Like there's so many. And Jon, you'll be pleased to know, as discussed, I did start watching Batman last night with I Was Born in the Dark with Tom Hardy as Bane. Well, here's the thing, KDL. I heard very recently that the writers have confirmed it's not going to be a direct follow-on from it, but they're going to do it. Yeah, exactly. Peaky Blinders. He plays, what is his name? Samsons? Is that his name? Samsons? Everything that man touches is gold. Even when he played Captain Kirk's clone in that Star Trek film. Bronson, amazing film. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to continue watching Batman tonight. Love that film. Bane's just awesome. I was born in the dark. Good. Right. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. It's going to be like, yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be like True Detective. Oh, what a film that was. Fuck me. Series. That first one with Woody Harrelson in it and the other clown. What's his name? What a series that was. Just dark and horrible and gritty and yeah, Inception, another one. We could just list everything Tom Hardy's in. But yeah, all good. Right. So what's going on? I've got to go now. I said to my wife I'd finish at 2. Savon's in 56 minutes. I think he's got a guest on today. Let's have a looky, shall we? Dylan Larson, founder of High Ground, the beef company, former Navy SEAL. Awesome. That'll be good. I'll be in the chat, being an utter twat. Yes, KDL. Wuthering Heights with the one with Tom Hardy in it was awesome. That was he was a really good Heathcliff. I really want to sing the song, but I'm not going to. I'm fighting temptation. I won't do it. Yeah, he was a really good Heathcliff. Perfect. Smouldering. Anyway, right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging about. Thanks for Steve for coming on. Any European or British gym owners, go and check out Steve's website, Defiant Co-Printing. Go on, do it. Do it now. Come on. I'm not going to sing. It's me. I can't go that high. Anyway, have a lovely day, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. Not too much. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which is quite a lot, actually. So be safe, be